Page 21, Amarylis, gavotte. A gavotte, you can read gavotte and Google. It's a French dance, a real old French dance. Okay, just keep in mind it's a dance. People are moving to it. Now I'm not going to go through and explain all the notes and rhythms. You should be getting those by now. So these lessons are getting a bit long. So I'll just go through the process. I'll learn a piece of music and follow along. See, the idea is watch the video first to get an idea of what's going on. It's like read the instructions first before you do anything. And then you go through and do the steps yourself at your time, whenever. So I look it over. It's about a page long. It's actually longer than that, but it's a page of music to learn. Treble and bass clef, at least to start. They can change throughout the piece, but I don't care about that. I'm just interested in the beginning. What is it at the beginning? There's 4 sharps in the key signature. We're in the key of E major, so go ahead and go do the scale for E major. This way you become accustomed to which black keys are involved. 4 sharps, there's 4 black keys, and you think, oh, which ones? Well, learn the scale, and that'll teach you which ones. And then when you play the piece, you just play the stuff, play the notes that are in E major, that are in the scale. You don't have to keep reminding us, is this sharp or not? It's just play it as it is in the scale. And 4/4 time signature, but the first measure has 2 counts in it, so we're coming in on beat 3, which means there should be another measure with 2 counts. And if you look at the end of the second line, because this piece is in 2 sections, you see the double bars at the end of the section line, it's a section. Well, there's 2 counts in that one, but if you look at the third line, you got 2 counts again. Well, that means we need another measure with 2 counts in it, and if you look at the end, there isn't. And in my opinion, that's an error. It should come out where it's equal to 4 counts in every measure, and the way they've written this, it isn't. So I have a problem with that. However, it doesn't affect how we play it. We're just going to play it as is. Take it one hand at a time, and at first I connect everything. I want a fingering that lets me connect the notes. That's usually a more secure fingering than constantly jumping around. So here it's 1, 2. If you can do the E major scale, that's it. That's it. And then reach up. Now if you can't on the 4th measure, can't reach that, go ahead and use 3rd finger. Because you can use 4 and then 2. So I can kind of get there. It allows me to connect the notes. But if your hand's big, you can just reach up. I'm assuming your hand's not that big. So it's 3, then 2. Okay. The ending, the second line here, and you go on the 3rd line, you're right there. 10, they want 1, 3 for the quarter note. That's all right. And you think, wait, what happened? Where's my C sharp? Well, at the end of the second line, you see 1 sharp. We changed key signatures. We went into the key of G major because the last 2 lines only have 1 sharp in it. So it's G major. So only the F's are sharped. A lot of publishers, when they do that, because they took 3 sharps away and left 1, they would actually put in 3 natural signs. There at the end of the second line, it would have 3 natural signs and the sharp sign to indicate they're erasing 3 sharps. Now you only have 1. This publisher just gives you the 1 sharp, and it's understood the other 3 sharps went away. Doesn't matter as long as you understand how it works. It's just the last 2 lines are in G major. We're just here. 3 here and measuring 10. And make sure you play the G each time in measure 11. And measure 12. That's good. There's other fingerings I would prefer, but this is fine. We can do that. You need to do that. Good practice. However, in measure 13, we need to get back to the 3/5. So in measure 12, and then measure 13, I'm going to do a 1/3 and then a 3/5. They're repeated notes. I change hand positions on repeated notes. I can do that. That way. Now back to the 3/5 again, or 1/3 one. 1/3, too many numbers. 3. I don't like that. I don't like having my hand up here if I don't need to. If you have little hands, it doesn't matter. So what I usually do is I figure out a different finger. Here, just second finger. And then left hand, let's see what it's up to. It's just got these chords. It's here. Now I would suggest if your hand's big enough, use the fourth finger at the beginning. The chord is this. It's an E major chord. That is the fingering to it. And that's what I would use. And second measure, I'd also use 4. That way, in the next measure, 1, 5, 3 is okay, you're there. You have to slide up here for this. We don't have a lot of choice, but you're only up here long enough to play that note. If your hand's not big enough for that, you have to use 3. Some teachers teach 3. That's just a matter of fact. But I don't. I teach 4. The principle here is when you have 2 notes and 5 is involved, then I will use 4 when there's only a note in between. So here you're thinking, wait a minute, there's 3 notes in between. No, it's notes in the scale, because this has 3 notes in between, 1, 2, 3. But from C major, there's only 1 note in between. Well, in D major, there's only 1 note in between, so it's here. So I would use 4 as a matter of fact, just as a general idea, if I can. Unless I needed the 3 here for, maybe I needed this note and I needed 4th for that note, then okay, but otherwise I'm going to use 4th finger on those chords. Third line down, we get treble clef in the left hand. So now we're up here. It's like we're still in E major, except we went into G major, so now they have to give you the accidentals. They need to give you the D sharp and the C sharp, otherwise you wouldn't have done. So once I have an idea what the hands are doing separately, then I'll try putting them together, and I'll hesitate. That's fine, I don't care. It's just third line, you're up here. Get the idea? So I'll put the hands together, and then I'll go back over and I'll take it in pieces, maybe a few measures at a time, and I'll work out the hesitation. So it's a steady beat. Take it as slow as you have to right now, but a steady beat. We'll speed it up later. And once I have that, then I'll add the articulation. And the staccatos are short, and I'm flexing at the wrist here. It's a, and we have an accent. Just play a little louder. Now, in the second full measure, that's a half note, hold it out, but this is staccato. So again, sometimes I'm holding out the right hand and I'm playing staccato in the left. Well, it goes each way. Go down the third line, staccato. This is, and this is measure 11. It's staccato. These are not marked staccato. Don't know why not. I mean, if the first beat in measure 11 is going to be staccato, then why aren't the others? In my mind, you can go ahead and play them all staccato in the left hand. I would, I think. It may be an error. Maybe they wanted the staccato and they didn't put it in. Even with the accents, you can still have a staccato and an accent on the same note. It's like at the beginning, the first full measure, staccato and accent. You're just playing a little louder is all. And you're thinking, well, maybe it's because they're quarter notes. So a quarter note doesn't have anything to do with it. A staccato is a staccato. And then the dynamics. P at the beginning is piano, which is soft. That's the melody. That makes the accident notes sort of soft. These, very light, very soft. That's the melody. These, soft. Now, that's the melody here. These are soft. Yeah. Now in measure 12, I didn't mention it before, I would connect all those eighth notes together. The thing goes a little too quickly for all this. Just connect them. So I get an idea of the dynamics, and then I'll think about the speed. And moderato, well, they're giving you a tempo up there. That's a little on the fast side for moderato, but it's quicker. One, two, three, four, one. Somewhere in there, maybe a little slower than that. I wouldn't take it any faster than that. Keep in mind, people would be dancing to this. Yeah. Now, let's look at the layout here a little bit. You already know about the double bars at the end of the second line. So the first two lines is a section, the last two lines is another section. And another thing that can tell you that is the melody. The melody, the first two lines, the melody in the second two lines, it's a different melody. That's usually a different section. Not always, but usually. You get down to the end, there is a dies al fine. They tell you what it means. It means go back to the sign. But remember, DC means go to the beginning. DC, go to the beginning. DS, go to the sign. And then go to fine. So you have to find the sign. And you'll see the sign at the top. It's the beginning of the first full measure. They could do that. So it's a DS, you go back to there. And the fine is at the end of the second line. And in my opinion, the end of the second line, that should be a thin and thick bar line, not two thin bar lines, because that's the end of the piece. So it's actually 2 lines longer than it looks. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do louds and softs, but I will do the staccatos and I'll try and do the accents. I'm usually not good at that. We will do the di sol fine though, the whole thing. So I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 2. Ready, go.